morning, boys and girls. Happy Tuesday. As you know, today's distance learning theme is oceans. So we are doing an experiment today to see if salt water will hold more mass than regular water. So if you look at the picture that I posted with this video, you'll see all of the ingredients you need and the setup to conduct this experiment. So today we're going to be using foil boats that we make with foil, adding mass, pennies. You can find some pennies. We're going to be adding mass to them to see which boat will hold more mass in salt water versus regular water. I do have my bowls labeled here. I know it's hard to see from this angle. But again, if you look at the picture that I posted with this video, you can kind of see how I set it up. I did go ahead and mix in my salt water. I used just regular table salt. Okay. I used my tablespoon. I measured out about 3 tablespoons. You can do as much or as little as you want. And I do have 2 cups of water. And I will post all of this with the video so that you know what to do. I did go ahead and make 1 foil boat just to give you an example. And I'm going to now make my second one. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, I know it's kind of hard to hear, but I'll say this and then I'll do it. Crinkle the sides up to kind of just make like an oval shaped boat. Okay, now you do want to, I did use the exact same amount of foil for both boats. I measured the exact same amount of water. If you notice, I have the exact same type of bowls. Okay, so really you have to remember in an experiment, the only thing you want to change, you only want to change one variable. So that variable today is going to be salt water versus regular water. Okay, everything else will stay the same. Okay, once you have made your foil boats, I want you to turn and I want you to talk to a sibling, aunts, uncles, grandparents, parents, whoever might be there with you today. And I want you to make a prediction. What do you think is going to happen? Do you think the salt water, as we add the mass from the pennies, do you think it's going to hold more? Or do you think the fresh water will hold more? Make your prediction. I'll pause and give you a couple minutes to do that. Okay, hopefully you've made your predictions. Next step, take your foil boats. Place them in your bodies of water. So as you can see here from this angle, both of these boats, if you look right here, they're both floating. You can tell this one is the salt water because it has kind of a foggy color to it. So they're both floating. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a handful of pennies and I'm going to start adding them one by one, keeping it the same. And we're going to make we're going to make observations about what's happening to our boats here as I add the pennies. Okay, so here we go. First penny. Just going to keep adding. And as you're doing this, maybe you can do this with a sibling or a parent. Start to notice, start to make observations. What do you notice is happening? So I'm just adding it one by one. And I'm going to keep doing this. I'm already, from this angle that I'm standing at, I'm starting to notice that my foil boat in the regular water is starting to submerge into the water a bit more, whereas my boat in the salt water hasn't moved much. So I'm going to keep adding pennies. You do the same. I'm going to pause and we'll meet back up. Okay, I got to about 16 pennies in each boat. So you'll notice here, when I got to about the 16th one, my boat here in the regular water started to float, whereas my boat here in, sink, whereas the boat here in the salt water is still floating. You may have to use more or less pennies, kind of just depending on how much salt you put into your boat. Like I said, I put about into your water. I put about 3 tablespoons of salt into mine. I would love, this is a very simple experiment that you can do at home. It's very fun. If you're an older kiddo, you could absolutely do this with your younger siblings. I believe they would really enjoy it. And I would love to read your comments. Comment on this post and tell me what happened. What are some observations you made? What are some of the predictions that you made to start with? Was your prediction right or wrong? Answer some of those questions. I would love to hear your responses. I hope you enjoy this and I hope you have a wonderful day.